Hey guys, today we lie beneath a tapestry of infinite stars, each one pulsing faintly with ancient light, casting a silver glow that feels both distant and intimately familiar. And you might be rolling your eyes, thinking, great, another cosmic pep talk, as if the universe needs convincing to care. But here's the cheeky truth. The cosmos isn't an indifferent void. It's an attentive partner in an ongoing dialogue with you. From this very breath to the beat of your heart, you're already broadcasting messages into a living field of energy that listens, responds, and mirrors back exactly what you emit. You wake up each morning and your first thought, before coffee, before email, drifts outward like a pebble dropped into an unseen pond. That ripple stirs currents in the fabric of reality. Every fleeting worry, every spark of curiosity, every silent hope sends a vibration into this quantum sea. You might not notice these ripples. They come and go beneath the surface. But when they circle back, they tap you on the shoulder via synchronicities. A song on the radio just as you think of a friend. A sudden idea that solves yesterday's problem. Or an unexpected compliment that brightens your day. Those are the universe's replies. Imagine for a moment that your mind is a radio transmitter operating 24/7. Even when you scroll social media or drift into daydreams, your station is live, broadcasting thoughts and feelings like station IDs. If your interior channel is muddled by fear or doubt, the signal is weak, drowned out by static. If it hums with clarity and purpose, you cut through the noise. The universe tunes in to your frequency, not your words. It listens to the energetic signature you carry. Close your eyes now, if you can. Take a deep breath in, counting to 3. Hold for a beat, then exhale slowly. Feel how that moment of stillness anchors your awareness. Notice the subtle buzz under your skin, the gentle reminder that you are alive, charged with energy. That buzz is you broadcasting alive, curious, open. Label whatever sensation arises. That's calm, or that's excitement, or that's suspicion. Acknowledging the signal is the first act of conscious creation. Now recall a persistent thought that's followed you around today, a sense of anticipation for what's coming, or maybe a lingering worry about something unsaid. Observe it without criticism. Does it carry tension or lightness? Does it feel like a soft humming or a sharp ping? You're not here to judge your thoughts. You're here to map your broadcast pattern. That pattern is the baseline of your dialogue with existence. If that thought feels misaligned, say it's focused on lack or anxiety, imagine it as a gray cloud drifting away. Let it dissipate. Then intentionally choose a thought you want to stand in its place. Something like, I navigate my day with clear purpose, or I trust that the next right opportunity is on its way. Breathe into that new thought, feeling it resonate in your chest like a warm glow. That small shift is you retuning your radio to a clearer station. Why does this matter so much? Because the universe doesn't distinguish between a whispered worry and a shouted desire. It simply reflects the vibration you emit. If you're tangled in fear, the cosmos will hand you more reasons to feel fear, mirroring your internal state. If you align with curiosity and trust, it will mirror fresh possibilities and supportive nudges. Your outer world is a mirror of your inner broadcast, and consider your daily routines. Commuting, checking messages, making coffee. Each moment is an opportunity to tune in. As you pour that first cup, you can choose. Will you greet the morning with a message of gratitude? Thank you for this warm cup. Or with a message of rush? I'm late again. Why is nothing flowing? That simple mental framing floods your system with a new vibration. Gratitude sends out an invitation for more to be grateful for. Impatience locks you into resistance and more delays. Pause again. Feel the rhythm of your breath. Rise, fall, rise, fall. That rhythm is you, broadcasting life itself. Now place a hand over your heart. Sense the subtle thrum of your heartbeat. That thrum is the baseline frequency of your being, your original station. Everything else you feel, think, or do modulates that station. When you recognize that, you reclaim your creative power. Every time you choose to observe and refine your thoughts and feelings, you're consciously shaping your experience. You might be wondering, if I've been broadcasting all this time, why haven't I seen dramatic changes? The answer is signal clarity. Most people broadcast a jumble of conflicting frequencies. Worry about money, hope for love, fear of failure, desire for growth, like tuning a radio between stations. The result is static. Life feels confusing and haphazard because your energetic instructions are muddled. Learning to broadcast clean, coherent signals is the key to seeing clear, coherent responses. This book isn't about chanting mantras or reciting affirmations mindlessly. It's about integrating awareness, intention, clarity, and aligned action into every breath, thought, and feeling. You're about to learn how to build a precise blueprint for what you desire. Give it emotional fuel. Empower it with unshakable belief. Ask with exactitude. Trust the divine process. Receive with open hands, and navigate any bumps along the road. But none of that matters if you don't first embrace the simple truth. You're already in conversation with the universe. As this invitation closes, carry forward one practice. Commit to observing your inner signal 10 times today. Set a gentle reminder on your phone or a sticky note on your desk that simply says, "What am I broadcasting?" Each time you see it, pause for a breath, map your frequency, then choose to refine it. That micro moment of awareness is the seed of conscious creation. With that awareness established, you're ready to explore how everything, not just your thoughts, but all matter, is vibration, and how that foundational principle opens the door to shaping your reality. You awaken to the simple truth that everything you see, touch, or imagine is alive with vibration. That chair you sit on, the air you breathe, the phone in your hand, even the ground beneath your feet, are not solid, static objects. They're fields of energy oscillating at different frequencies. At the subatomic scale, particles flicker in and out of existence, dancing to an invisible rhythm. Electrons don't orbit the nucleus like miniature planets. They exist as probability waves, smeared across space until observed. The very act of observation collapses those waves into a particular state, proving that energy responds to energy. Quantum physics reveals this elegantly. In double-slit experiments, individual particles pass through two slits simultaneously as a wave, interfering with themselves until a detector listens for them, or in which case they snap back into behaving like particles. Matter, you discover, is energy modulated by vibration. Every atom in your body, every molecule of water in the ocean, every speck of cosmic dust dancing around distant stars, all vibrate. This universe isn't a collection of inert rocks and static voids. It's a grand symphony of oscillating frequencies, each note contributing to the harmony of existence. Now consider vibration as a spectrum. Like the visible light range, at one end you have low frequency and dense vibrations. Think molasses, slow, heavy, and sticky. In living terms, these manifest as fear, doubt, despair, and stagnation. On the opposite end, you find high frequency, buoyant vibrations, rapid, expansive waves that shimmer like sunlight or through a crystal prism. These you feel as joy, love, clarity, and abundance. Everything in between, contentment, curiosity, resilience, occupies its own sweet spot on this vibrational scale. Imagine two tuning forks side by side. Strike one. It sings at 276 Hz, pure and clear. The other, untouched, sits silent until the sound waves from the first reach it, causing it to vibrate at the same pitch. That's resonance, one frequency calling another into harmony. Now replace those forks with you and the world around you. Your personal vibration, your baseline energetic frequency, sends ripples into the collective field, and the field vibrates back in matching frequencies. Everything around you resonates or dissonates based on your energetic pitch. When you walk into a room heavy with tension, raised voices, harsh lighting, stale air, you feel it instantly, as if your cells absorb a low hum of discomfort. Conversely, you step into a serene garden, and you instantly soften. Sunlight filters through leaves. Birdsong threads the air. The breeze carries a sweet scent. Those environments tune your internal vibration upward or downward, demonstrating that everything is interconnected in this ocean of energy. On a micro scale, your heart emits electromagnetic waves strong enough to be measured several feet from your chest. Your brain operates distinct wave patterns: delta, theta, alpha, beta, gamma, each corresponding to different states of consciousness: deep sleep, relaxation, light focus, active thinking, and insight. Those brain waves aren't confined to your skull. They radiate into the field of possibility. When you shift from a scattered beta state of worry to a calm alpha state of focused creativity, you're lowering your frequency's density and tuning into a channel where inspiration and clarity flow more freely. Low-frequency vibrations tend to contract your energy. You feel heavy in your chest, weighed down by anxious thoughts or lingering resentment. Your body moves sluggishly. Your mind loops in circular patterns. In this state, you're broadcasting a signal that gravitates toward challenges, setbacks, obstacles, delays. It's not punishment, it's reflection. The universe is mirroring your internal environment so you can notice and choose to recalibrate. High-frequency vibrations, by contrast, expand your energy field. You sense lightness in your step, brightness in your thoughts, and wide-open possibilities ahead. In that vibration, you broadcast an invitation for growth, creativity, and opportunity. You magnetize experiences that match your tone, effortless conversations, serendipitous connections, breakthroughs that feel like gifts rather than forced climbs. To ground this concept, notice a practical example. Water transitions from solid ice, a slow, rigid vibration, to liquid water, a fluid, moderate vibration, and to steam, a high energy, a rapid vibration. The same H2O molecules arrange differently based on the energy they hold. So too do the molecules of your experience, thoughts, emotions, intentions, organize into life's forms based on your vibrational temperature. Freeze in fear, and your life can become brittle. Heat in enthusiasm, and you rise into expansive possibilities. Understanding this, you begin a simple practice. Scan your vibrational frequency at least 3 times a day. Pause wherever you are. Close your eyes and notice your physical sensations. Is your chest tight or open? Is your breathing shallow or deep? What emotion surfaces most strongly? Label it. That's tension, or and that's gratitude. Then ask yourself, does this frequency support the life I choose? If not, intentionally shift. Remember a moment of genuine joy. Recall heartfelt appreciation, or simply breathe into your heart space until tension softens. That micro shift nudges your vibration upward, realigning your energy with higher frequencies. Another practice is environmental tuning. Curate your space with colors, textures, and sounds that elevate your vibration. Surround yourself with fresh flowers, uplifting images, gentle music, or essential oils that awaken your senses. Citrus for clarity, lavender for calm. Each element you choose amplifies a higher frequency in your field, making it easier to sustain a light, creative state. Movement is also crucial. When you dance, stretch, or walk in nature, you activate energy centers in your body, chakras, meridians, or simply muscle groups that release stagnant patterns. A brisk walk in sunlight, for example, raises your vibration through physical exhilaration and vitamin D absorption. Yoga flows gently coax high-frequency waves through intentional breath and posture. Feeling the earth beneath your feet, her grunting, stabilizes lower vibrations so you can climb the spectrum with ease. Nutrition and rest play a part in too. Whole foods, pure water, and quality sleep supplies your body's cells with the fuel they need to maintain optimal vibration. When you eat processed, sugar-laden foods or skimp on sleep, your body's energy wavers, dragging your vibration downward. Conversely, a colorful plate of vegetables, clean protein, and healthy fats nourishes your cells, elevating your baseline tone so that gratitude, a curiosity, and an enthusiasm come more naturally. Finally, notice that thoughts and emotions are themselves vibrations nested within the larger vibrational field. A joyful thought vibrates at a higher pitch than a fearful one. When you sustain positive, expansive thoughts, affirmations like, I am capable, or visualizations of your dreams unfolding, you embed those frequencies into your field. The more you practice, the more automatic your baseline shifts upward. It's like training your internal radio to default to a high-frequency station, so that static and dissonance fade into the distance. Everything you encounter, people, situations, even your own cells, is part of this grand vibrational web. When you realize that, you step into your power as a conscious creator. You're not subject to random forces, but an active conductor tuning life's orchestra. You learn that by refining your own frequency through awareness, environment, movement, nutrition, and thought. You shape the harmonic composition of your reality. As this section closes, take one last moment to sense the vibrational tapestry you inhabit. Breathe in deeply, feel the vitality coursing through your body, and recognize that you're both a node and a conductor in this field of energy. You've glimpsed the foundational truth that everything is vibration, and this awareness is your gateway. From here, you transition seamlessly into how your thoughts become the specific signals you transmit, guiding the universe's responsive rhythms. You've grasped that everything is energy in motion, but your inner world is the source of your most powerful broadcasts. Every thought you entertain sends ripples into the quantum field, like waves from a pebble dropped into a vast cosmic ocean. When your mind churns with worry, doubt, or daydreams, it's transmitting signals that shape your reality. You're not just a passive observer of thought. You're the operator of a high-powered transmitter, beaming instructions into the energetic matrix that surrounds you. Imagine your brain as a radio tower perched on a hill. Each thought is a signal sent over the airwaves, coded with frequency and intention. Neuroscientists measure this with EEGs, those distinct patterns of alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and theta waves that correspond to mental states. Beta waves surge when you're anxious or focused on problems. Alpha waves hum when you're relaxed and open. Gamma waves fire when inspiration strikes. Those brain waves aren't confined to your skull. They interface with the universal field, broadcasting your mental state outward. When you let your mind wander unchecked, you flood the field with a cacophony of conflicting frequencies. Worry one moment, desire the next, regret after that. It's like a radio station quickly flipping through dozens of channels, never staying long enough to establish a clear broadcast. The universe picks up the noise, and what returned is a jumble of static, unfocused opportunities, muddled synchronicities, experiences that feel disjointed or confusing. Contrast that with sustained and deliberate thought, holding a clear intention. I am flourishing in my creative work. For several minutes is like dropping a boulder into the pond instead of the pebble. The ripples surge, overlap, and travel farther before dissipating. When you concentrate your mind on a single coherent idea, you send a high-definition signal that the field can't ignore. That's the difference between casual wishing and conscious creation. Let's ground this in a real-world example. You're stuck in traffic. Your mind racing. I hate being late. I'll never get this done. Why is everyone so slow? That torrent of frustration broadcasts a low-frequency message of lack and stagnation. And sure enough, you hit every red light. Someone cuts you off. Your GPS reroutes you down the longest path. It isn't a cosmic prank. It's the mirror of your own thought pattern signal. Now, imagine you shift your internal dialogue. This extra time gives me a chance to breathe and prepare. I appreciate this moment of stillness. You hold that thought for a full breath cycle. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And suddenly, the universe seems to cooperate. The light turns green. A driver waves you through. You arrive calm and ready. Key to harnessing your thoughts as broadcasts is mindful observation. You're not here to judge your mental chatter. You're here to map it. Practice this 2-minute thought scan 3 times a day. Pause wherever you are, close your eyes if possible, and notice the dominant thought or mental image. Is it warm or cold? Heavy or light? Label it. That's worry. Or, that's aspiration. That simple act of noticing creates a gap between you and your thoughts, turning them from unconscious impulses into objects you can choose to adjust. Next, conscious rerouting comes into play. When you catch a thought that doesn't serve, I can't keep up, gently replace it with one you choose deliberately. I learn quickly and adapt with ease. Don't rush the swap. Breathe into the new thought, letting it resonate in your body. Feel how your chest expands, how your mind softens around the idea. That emotional and physical resonance cements the new signal into your broadcast. Visualization magnifies this process. Spend 2 uninterrupted minutes picturing a desired outcome as if it's happening now. Engage all senses and see the colors, hear the sounds, taste the air, feel the texture under your fingertips, Smell the scents. For instance, if you envision yourself delivering a successful presentation, imagine gripping the microphone, hearing the applause, feeling the confident warmth in your chest. Your mind can't tell the difference between a vivid mental rehearsal and reality. Both produce matching brainwave patterns and energetic broadcasts. Affirmations work similarly, but they require feeling. Merely reciting "I am abundant" in a flat tone is like emailing without a subject line. It's likely to be overlooked. Instead, speak your affirmation with genuine emotion, perhaps smiling as you say, "I am abundant," or placing a hand on your heart to feel its truth echo through your body. That emotional tint acts as the accent on your broadcast, ensuring your signal cuts through the background noise. Beware of mental sabotage, those recurring negative loops that replay like a scratched vinyl record. "I'm not good enough. I never finish anything. They'll laugh at me." Each time you notice that loop, treat it as a misfired transmission and promptly reroute. No, label it. That's a sabotage loop. And insert a corrective thought like, "I have unique gifts that matter." The more often you intercept and redirect, the sooner you reprogram your default broadcast pattern. Journaling is a powerful ally in this mental mastery. Each morning, write down one thought you intend to broadcast today in present tense. "I am navigating challenges with grace." Then, at midday and evening check-ins, note how that thought is manifesting. Did you feel more confidence? Did someone support you unexpectedly? Did a creative idea emerge? These journal entries serve as feedback logs, showing you which broadcasts are registering in reality and which need further tuning. Another practical practice is the 3-thought reset. Whenever you feel stuck or stressed, intentionally choose 3 new thoughts in rapid succession. 1 focused on gratitude. "I'm grateful for this fresh breath." 1 on capability. "I handle my tasks with clarity." Inakut. And 1 on possibility. "I welcome creative solutions today." Acterio. Rapidly cycling through these 3 positive signals floods your transmitter with a coherent burst of high-frequency energy, overriding the low-frequency patterns that were dominating. Over time, as you consistently map, refine, and amplify your thoughts, you'll notice your daily experience shifting from random chaos to guided synchronicity. You start catching yourself in moments of misalignment and quickly steering back to a chosen frequency. You'll see opportunities, solutions, and connections that once eluded you because your mental station was simply off target. Remember, your mind is not merely a problem-solving tool. It's your cosmic broadcaster. You don't need external gadgets or mystical rites. Every moment, you have access to an infinite transmitter built into your consciousness. The quality of what you receive will always mirror the clarity, consistency, and conviction of what you send. As this section concludes, commit to one practice. The next time a fleeting worry or wish arises, take 3 mindful breaths, label the thought, and replace it with a deliberately chosen phrase that aligns with your highest intention. Feel its resonance in your body and imagine the ripples traveling outward into the field. That simple, conscious switch on thought, feeling, vision is the core skill of mastering your mental broadcasts. That groundwork prepares you to harness your emotions as turbochargers for these signals, turning up the volume and further magnetizing your desired reality. You've tuned your thoughts into a clear, deliberate channel, but thoughts alone are like a song played softly. You need to turn up the volume so the universe can really hear you. That's the role of emotion, It's the amplifier on your cosmic radio, the turbocharger that propels your energetic signals with power and precision. When you feel something deeply, joy, gratitude, love, you send out a vibrational beacon so vivid it cuts through the fog of mundane distraction and magnetizes matching experiences. Imagine emotion as the dial on your transmitter. A neutral thought might register faintly, a whisper lost in busy static. But when you crank the emotional dial, you flood the field with a bold frequency that the universe cannot ignore. This isn't about forced positivity, it's about generating genuine feeling. When your heart swells with gratitude, it broadcasts, "I recognize abundance." When you feel excitement at a new idea, it broadcasts, "I am ready for opportunity." Those emotional signals accelerate alignment and bring back responses that match your energetic intensity. Let's ground this in a simple scenario. You think, "I want deeper connection." But if your emotional state is lukewarm, that would be nice, I guess. Your vibration stays flat. The universe reflects that mild tone. You may exchange polite chit-chat, but miss out on meaningful bonds. Now shift your feeling. Recall a moment when you felt truly seen, maybe a friend's validation, a shared laugh that lit you up. Breathe into that memory until warmth floods your chest. That surge is your amplifier kicking in. Suddenly your signal sends out, "I crave authentic connection," on a high-frequency channel. You'll find yourself drawn to people who resonate at that same level. Heartfelt conversations, spontaneous invitations, soul-soothing encounters. Emotional resonance works because energy responds to energy of the same frequency. When you vibrate at the frequency of joy, you attract situations, people, and ideas that hum with that same tone. Gratitude, especially, is one of the highest frequencies humans can feel. Genuine gratitude shifts you from a mindset of lack to one of abundance, rewiring your nervous system and recalibrating your vibration upward. To harness gratitude powerfully, start a 3 blessings practice each morning. Before you step out of bed, name 3 things you truly appreciate, big or small. Don't rush. Pause after each blessing. Let it sink in and feel the warmth in your heart. Maybe it's the comfort of your pillow, the melody of birds outside your window, or the promise of a fresh day. Those few seconds of focused gratitude flood your field with high-frequency energy, setting the tone for your entire day. Kindness is another potent amplifier. When you deliberately perform a small act, smiling at a barista, holding the door for a stranger, sending an encouraging text, you ignite empathy and connection in your own heart. That surge of warmth doesn't just uplift the other person, it recalibrates your vibration upward. Notice how your mood shifts after an act of generosity. You feel lighter, more expansive, more engaged with the world. These gestures broadcast, "I'm open to giving, asked receiving," and the universe replies in kind, returning kindness in unexpected packages. Mindfulness deepens emotional amplification by anchoring you in the present moment, where authentic feeling resides. Practice our heart scan midway through your day. Sit quietly, place a hand over your heart, and breathe slowly. Invite any emotion to surface: joy, frustration, curiosity. Label it, then breathe into it as if inhaling fuel. If it's a positive emotion, let it expand. If it's challenging, note its texture without judgment. Then consciously soften around it. That gentle inner work raises your baseline frequency by teaching your nervous system that all emotions are welcome and can be transformed. Creativity fuels emotion too. When you engage in any creative act, drawing, writing, cooking, dancing, you stir a deep feeling, the thrill of possibility, the pride of creation, the wonder of expression. No need for grand masterpieces, doodling a colorful pattern, baking a simple recipe, or improvising a few dance moves can generate powerful emotional waves. After you finish, pause to savor the feeling of inspiration. That moment of creative joy broadcasts, "I am a creator," drawing back collaborative opportunities, fresh ideas, and supportive allies. Physical movement is yet another amplifier. Dancing, yoga flows, martial arts, or even a brisk walk in nature release endorphins and clear stagnant energy in your body. Movement raises your vibration by combining emotion and physiology. Your heart pumps faster, your lungs expand, your cells brim with vitality. When you feel that physical exhilaration, heartbeat racing, cheeks flushed, limbs energized, you're sending out a signal of aliveness that attracts rest, replenishment, or new adventures. Your environment can either support or dampen your emotional amplifier. Surround yourself with sensory triggers that uplift you. Sunlight streaming through sheer curtains, fresh flowers on your table, uplifting music that stirs your soul, or essential oils like citrus for clarity and peppermint for invigoration. These environmental cues repeatedly signal your nervous system to stay in a high-frequency zone, making it easier to sustain positive emotional states. Another subtle but powerful practice is anchoring emotion to routine activities. Pick one daily trigger, your morning coffee, the start of a Zoom meeting, or brushing your teeth, and infuse it with deliberate feeling. Before taking your first sip or logging on, pause and set a mini intention. I feel excited about today's possibilities, or I welcome calm focus. Feel that emotion for a few breaths. Over time, that routine act becomes a rapid pathway back to a high-frequency state, keeping your emotional amplifier primed. Beware of emotional debt, relying on external validation or others to uplift your mood. Seeds ownership of your frequency, while sharing joy with friends can compound your uplift. The initial spark must come from within. Cultivate self-generated emotional highs first, then invite communal celebration. That way, you remain the primary driver of your vibration. As you cultivate emotional mastery, notice how quickly the universe replies. Small surprises, a kind gesture from an unexpected source, a sudden breakthrough in a stalled project, or a burst of creative inspiration begin occurring more often. Those are your emotional broadcasts returning as synchronicities. Acknowledge them with a quick thank you and savor the feeling. That gratitude feedback loop strengthens your emotional amplifier further, reinforcing high-frequency living. Finally, integrate emotional amplification into your broader vibrational practice. When you set intentions, infuse them with feeling. When you reroute thoughts, back them with emotion. When you believe in yourself, feel the conviction in your body. When you ask with clarity, feel the excitement of the answer on its way. When you trust the process, cultivate the calm assurance of faith. When you receive, celebrate with genuine joy. And when setbacks arise, re-anchor in resilience by feeling gratitude for the lesson. Every time you feel deeply and genuinely, you send a surge of energy that reshapes your reality. Emotion is not a fluffy afterthought. It's the core fuel of manifestation, the clear your signal And the stronger your emotional charge, the faster and more powerfully the universe responds. So as this section concludes, take a moment to feel one potent emotion now. Gratitude, love, excitement, until it reverberates through your entire being with every beat of your heart. Your amplifier is live. Your message is clear, and the universe is leaning in to listen. You felt the power of tuning your inner radio with clear thoughts and vibrant emotions. Now it's time to give that energy a shape, a plan, a framework to follow. Intentions are the blueprints you draw in the energetic realm. Just as an architect's blueprint guides the steel beams and concrete poured on a building site, your intention sketches out the form your desires will take. Without that plan, your energetic materials, thoughts, emotions, belief, scatter like bricks dumped on empty ground. With it, they assemble into something coherent, strong, and unmistakably yours. Think of intention as the architectural drawing for your reality. In construction, you don't simply shout, "Build me a house," and expect walls, floors, and a roof to appear. You consult detailed plans, room dimensions, window placements, wiring diagrams. Those plans determine exactly how the raw materials, wood, steel, glass, will come together. Similarly, your intention dictates how the raw energies swirling within and around you will align into physical manifestation. When you set an intention, you draft an energetic schematic. You decide the outcome you want and lay out the parameters of its form, the general contours, the essential features, the guiding principles. That schematic tells the universe, "This is the reality I'm constructing. Here's my plan. Now assist me in assembling it." Without such clarity, your energy wanders, like workers unsure which blueprints to follow, resulting in half-finished rooms, misplaced walls, or projects abandoned altogether. Intentions function at a high level. They don't micromanage every detail, but they capture the shape of what you want. For instance, you might intend to build a life of freedom and creativity, rather than specifying every single moment of every single day. That overarching framework guides your choices. How you spend your time, the projects you pursue, the relationships you cultivate, it aligns your entire field of energy toward a unified architectural vision. An effective blueprint intention has three core elements: material and a definition of purpose. It names the structure you're erecting: freedom, abundance, well-being, soulful connection, so that your energy knows which form to take. 2. Outline of key features. It highlights the essential qualities or experiences you desire, sketching the rooms and hallways of your creation. 3. Energetic parameters. It sets boundaries, what you're including and what you're consciously leaving out, so your energy doesn't leak into unwanted outcomes. Imagine you're building a garden. Without a blueprint, you scatter seeds randomly, water haphazardly, and hope for the best. You might get a jungle of weeds, overcrowded plants, or bare patches. With a blueprint, you map where each flower bed goes, where the path meanders, where the fountain sits. You choose sun-loving plants in the brightest spots and shade dwellers under the trees. That careful plan yields a flourishing sanctuary. Your intention blueprint works the same way. It maps out where to channel your vibrational energy so that what grows is precisely what you envisioned. It's important to understand that a blueprint is not an inflexible contract. It's a guiding diagram. Just as an architect makes on-the-fly adjustments when a site reveals unexpected conditions, you remain open to life's improvisations. The blueprint sets the overall plan, but you allow the universe's creative intelligence to fill in details you couldn't possibly predict. You hand over the finer notes of construction, how the sunlight will catch the glass doors, which pathway stones feel most welcoming to the field of possibility itself. Your intention blueprint sits at the intersection of imagination and structure. It's the place where you transform casual wishes into designed desires. When you wish vaguely for more happiness, that's like glancing at a pile of lumber and hoping it builds a house. But when you intend, I am living each day with ease, creative flow, and soulful connection, you've drafted a schematic, a map with labeled rooms of ease, corridors of creativity, and gathering spaces for connection. That energetic drawing guides every thought you think and every emotion you feel, funneling your vibration into the shape you choose. To begin sketching your first blueprint, find a quiet moment and a blank sheet of paper. At the top, write, I intend to, and complete the sentence with the broad form of your desire. Keep it high level. I intend to live in vibrant health. Or, I intend to create work that lights me up. Or, I intend to cultivate loving relationships. Let the words stand as the title of your energetic plan. Below that title, draw 3 simple boxes or circles, key areas where this intention matters most. For health, you might label them energy, vitality, and resilience. For work, perhaps inspiration, impact, and abundance per odd. For relationship, trust, joy, and growth. These are the essential features of your blueprint, the rooms in your energetic house. Finally, draw boundary lines around your diagram, parameters that clarify what you're not intending. For example, I release the need for perfection, or I release outcomes that harm others, or I release attachment to specific timelines. These boundary notes prevent your energy from bleeding into unwanted directions. They keep the walls of your design strong and your vibration focused. Once your diagram is complete, take a deep breath and hold your hand over the page. Feel the paper under your palm, your intention animating the sketch. This moment of contact charges your blueprint with your personal energy, a ritual that cements your plan into the field. You're not just writing words, you're imprinting an energetic template that the universe can follow. Keep your blueprint where you can see it daily, taped to your wall, tucked into your journal, or saved as a lock screen image. Each time you glimpse it, you reinforce your design. Just as a builder refers to blueprints throughout construction, that repetition broadcasts fresh pulses of clarity that keep your entire field aligned with your vision. Remember, this section is just the introduction to blueprinting. In the next step, you'll dive into how to craft your blueprint with precision, choosing detailed language, anchoring it in the present moment, and charging it with emotion to ensure your vibrations carve the exact form you desire. But first, pause and savor the act of creating your foundational plan. Feel the satisfaction of drawing the outline of your future, the confidence that comes from having a clear map, and the excitement of watching the universe rally resources to your architectural vision. With a blueprint in hand, your energy now has a framework to gather around, concentrate, and manifest. You've moved from scattershot wishing into purposeful designing. Keep that compass point clear as you move onward into the world of precise, present tense crafting. Blueprints give your energy shape. Specificity and clarity give it precision. You've sketched the general form of what you want freedom, for health, a connection. But vague outlines leave room for confusion, born drifting, and diluted results. When you refine your intention with crisp, present tense language and concrete detail, you narrow the field so your vibration doesn't scatter into a dozen possible outcomes. You turn a soft wish into a sharp directive the universe can lock onto. Think of a blurry photograph versus a high-definition image, a fuzzy idea. I want more abundance. It's the low-res version. It's open to interpretation. So the universe mirrors back a hazy, mixed bag. Small windfalls, temporary gigs, non-clear direction. A high-definition intention says, I'm receiving $7,500 per month from projects that align with my values and allow me 3 days of creative flow each week. Now you've named the amount, the source quality, the alignment, and lifestyle parameters. That precision acts like a laser beam, cutting through ambiguity and guiding resources directly to that configuration. Language matters. Drop future tense wishiness, I will be successful, or I hope to find love, and speak as if the blueprint is already unfolding. Present tense collapses potential into probability. I am thriving in a creative career that compensates me generously, sends a different vibration than I want a better job someday. The universe doesn't get confused by your ambition. It responds to the energy of what you already embody. Clarity also demands naming the aspects of your intention that are non-negotiable and distinguishing them from embellishments. If you desire a relationship, don't stop at I want love, drill down. I am in a partnership with someone who listens deeply, supports my growth, laughs easily, and shares curiosity about the world. Those qualities become the coordinates. If money is your focus, specify the number, the form, passive or active or recurring, and the feeling behind it. I am receiving $5,000 monthly through creative royalties, and I feel abundant and secure as I manage it wisely. Avoid energy leaks caused by contradiction. Saying, I am creating abundance, while internally adding, but I don't deserve it yet, muddies the signal. Clarity includes resolving the internal conflict. Choose language that reflects alignment, not ambivalence, instead of, I hope to be more confident. Say, I walk into every room with calm, grounded confidence that draws the right people to me. That statement leaves no room for the mental whisper of doubt to dilute it. The process of sharpening your intention can be broken into 3 steps: define, detail, and feel. 1. Define, name the core outcome in present tense. Use strong verbs and identity language. Rather than, I want more clients, define it as, I am serving 10 ideal clients this month who pay premium rates for transformational work. 2. Detail. Layer in specifics, number, qualities, context, timeframe flexibility. Ask, who is involved? What does it look like? Where does it happen? How does it feel? If your blueprint is for Hekith, you might say, I am experiencing daily energy that allows me to complete my work with focus, sustaining a morning routine of movement and whole foods, and feeling a vibrant sense of vitality by midday. 3. Feel. Anchor the language with emotion. What does this reality evoke inside you? Add the internal tone. I am supported, I am valued, I am free. That emotional tag ensures the language isn't just intellectual, it's embodied. A common stumbling block is piling on too many modifiers, so the intention becomes a tangled sentence. Clarity favors elegant precision over verbose aspirations. break complex intentions into primary and supporting layers. Your primary intention could be, I am financially free through my creative work. Supporting sub-intentions add texture. I attract projects that pay on time. I build lasting client relationships. I save responsibly while investing in my growth. Each supports the main beam without diluting it. Another refinement is using sensory description. The universe responds not only to words, but to the image they evoke in your mind. I am living in a light-filled home with plants on the windowsill, morning sunlight warming my face while I sip green tea and write with flow paints a palpable scene. Don't just state, I live freely. Feel the sunlight, the texture of the teacup, the quiet hum of creativity in the room. That sensory clarity gives your intention dimensionality, making it easier for subconscious alignment and external matches to recognize and mirror. Timelines matter, but don't anchor your vibration to rigid deadlines that breed inner tension. Time can be included as a flexible parameter. I am consistently earning $10,000 monthly within the next few cycles versus I must have $10,000 by the 15th or I've failed. The former holds clarity and momentum without the desperate energy that contracts your field. One practical formula to anchor clarity is, I am identity result by method omega quality while feeling emotion. Example, I am a sought-after speaker delivering transformational talks to engaged audiences, receiving multiple invitations each month, while feeling excited and impactful. Use qualifiers only when they support alignment. Instead of, I want to make a lot of money without sacrificing integrity, phrase it as, I am earning abundant income through work that aligns with my values. The original phrasing introduces the possibility of compromise. The refined version asserts both abundance and integrity simultaneously. A useful check, read your intention aloud and listen for wobble. Any softening words like kind of, maybe, or someday leak energy. Replace those with decisive phrasing. I am, I choose, I align, I receive. To embed this practice into your daily rhythm, create a clarity card. On one side, write your primary present tense intention with the emotional tone attached. On the other side, list 2 or 3 supporting details or sensory cues. Carry it with you. Glance at it each morning and speak it aloud with feeling. Repetition doesn't dilute, it reasserts. Each time you vocalize it, you rebroadcast the refined signal to your internal system and the field around you. Another exercise, take a vague wish you've held recently, write it down. I want better health, or I need more clients. Beneath it, sculpt it into a clear intention using the fine detail feel process. Then compare the energetic weight of the two by noting how your body responds when you say each out loud. The vague wish likely feels hollow or hesitant. The refined version should sit firmer in your chest, accompanied by an internal nod of recognition. That physical feedback is a compass pointing to clarity. Finally, guard your clarity by aligning your language internally and externally. Avoid telling others the wishy-washy version if you've refined it privately. Share the clear intention with trusted collaborators or mentors. Their reinforcement compounds your signal. If you slip into old phrasing, I hope it happens, catch yourself, adjust mid-sentence, and restate it with your chosen clarity. That gentle correction keeps your vibration consistent. Precision and present tense clarity collapse possibility into probability. When your blueprint is detailed with intention and sharpened in language, You're no longer throwing darts in the dark. You're guiding laser-focused energy toward a chosen target. The universe hears that signal. It begins to rearrange itself to make the picture you describe inevitable. Now that your blueprint is sharp and your language precise, the fuel that keeps it alive and magnetic is emotional alignment. This isn't about fake optimism or forcing yourself into a good mood. It's about tuning your internal state so your blueprint and broadcasts vibrate in harmony. So the feeling behind your intentions matches the form you've defined. When emotion aligns, your signal doesn't just travel, it resonates. Start with gratitude. This is not the shallow, thank you for another day checklist you half mean and forget. Real gratitude is a felt experience. It opens your chest, softens your face, and shifts your internal frequency upward. Begin each morning with a 3 blessings ritual. Don't just list them, feel them. Close your eyes after naming one, perhaps the smell of fresh air, the memory of a supportive conversation, or the warmth of your bed, and let the sensation swell inside. Notice the physical changes, that slight expansion in your ribcage, the warmth behind your sternum, the small smile that emerges almost involuntarily. That feeling is high-frequency fuel. It isn't a side effect, it's the core amplifier that makes your intention feel real to you, and thus real to the universe. Next, kindness fortifies alignment. When you act with generosity, holding space for someone, giving a sincere compliment, or offering help without expectation, you activate resonance in your own heart. That ripple doesn't solely affect the other person. It circles back through your energetic field. You're broadcasting, I am connected, I am expansive, I participate in life. Small gestures compound. The warmth you feel after lifting someone's burden becomes part of your emotional baseline. That baseline then colors how you interpret signals from the universe. You're more likely to see opportunities, extended hands, and supportive synchronicities because your internal vibration already matches openness. Creativity is another portal to alignment. Expressive acts, painting, journaling, cooking, singing, designing, moving, don't have to be grand. They just need to be honest. Creativity bypasses analytical resistance and drops you straight into vivid feeling. When you engage in a creative flow, you connect to something larger than the conscious mind, and that connection floods your field with high-frequency energy, wonder, pride, freedom. Afterwards, pause and acknowledge it. Saying quietly, I am a creator, and feel the truth of it. That emotional signature supercharges your blueprint, especially if your intention includes self-expression, impact, or innovation. Your environment becomes a silent partner in emotional alignment. You don't need to overhaul your life. You simply curate touch points that elevate your baseline. Light matters. Natural sunlight softens cortisol's grip and boosts serotonin. Sound matters. Music that stirs you. Quiet that lets you breathe. Or ambient textures that soothe. Scents anchor emotion. Citrus or rosemary for clarity. Lavender for calm. Fresh air for expansion. Place reminders of your blueprint around your primary spaces, photos, colors, tactile objects that trigger the intended feeling automatically. Over time, entering those spaces becomes an emotional reset, pulling you into alignment without conscious effort. Another practice is anchoring emotion to routine triggers. Choose a daily habit, a morning stretch, the first sip of coffee, the moment you sit to work, and pair it with a deliberate internal state. Before taking that sip, breathe in and think, I welcome flow. Let your chest soften. Let a sense of ease wash through. That small ritual trains your nervous system to associate the habitual action with high-frequency emotion, making alignment effortless over time. You're not adding more to your day. You're elevating what's already there. Social emotional alignment deserves attention too. When you share enthusiasm, gratitude, or vision with people who reflect that frequency back, you create a multiplier effect. Express your genuine excitement about a goal to a trusted ally and watch how it expands, not because they make you feel that way, but because mutual resonance compounds the signal. Notice though, the difference between sharing from aligned abundance and seeking validation. The former replenishes. The latter creates emotional debt. If you habitually look outward for permission to feel good, waiting for a compliment before you celebrate, you outsource your baseline. Instead, generate your emotional highs internally, then invite others to amplify them with you. You hold the source. They become echo chambers of your alignment, not the origin. Emotional alignment also includes self-inquiry and recalibration. When you feel a dip, irritation, fatigue, quiet disconnection, don't push through automatically. Pause. Ask, what am I feeling right now? Label it without judgment. That's frustration. Or that's exhaustion. Then ask, what does this signal about my alignment? Is the frustration a mask for feeling unheard? Is the fatigue a sign that your blueprint is misaligned with your current actions? From that place of curiosity, choose one small emotional reset, a 12-second gratitude burst, a 20-second walk outside, a creative doodle, or a deep belly breath. Those micro-corrections keep your emotional field fluid and responsive. Instead of rigid and reactive, body awareness is critical because emotion isn't abstract. It lives in your physiology. Pay attention to tension patterns, breath quality, and the texture of your internal state. When joy is real, your shoulders release, your jaw relaxes, and your heartbeat feels steady but energized. When alignment is off, you might feel tightness in the chest or a constricted throat. Use intentional breathing to shift. Inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Imagining the breath sweeping softness into those areas. Feel the circulation of aligned emotion and reinforce it with a phrase like, I align with ease. These somatic cues become fast pathways to return to high frequencies when the outer world tries to drag you low. As you practice emotional alignment, integrate it deliberately with your intention and clarity. When you refine your blueprint, Section 5, and sharpen your language, Section 6, pause and ask, what emotion gives this intention life? Attach that feeling to the wording. For example, if your intention is, I am creating abundant income through meaningful work, feel the pride of impact and the peace of security as you say it. That emotional tether prevents the intention from floating away and makes it magnetic. One useful exercise is the emotion pairing method. Take one refined intention and identify 2 core feelings that naturally accompany its fulfillment, say, freedom and service. Then, throughout the day, intentionally evoke each emotion for 30 seconds in different contexts. Recreate the sensation of freedom when you take a break, and the sensation of service when you help someone. Pair those sensations with the verbal cue of your intention. You're wiring the emotional landscape around your blueprint so that even subconscious moments reinforce alignment. Another practice, when a desired outcome feels distant or stalled, revisit the emotional root. Sometimes the intention is clear and specific, but your baseline vibration doesn't match the inner story, like wanting success while feeling unworthy. Use the feel it first strategy. Recall a time when you already embodied part of that outcome. If abundance is your goal, remember a moment when you felt financially secure, appreciated, or resourceful. Let the memory flood your body with that feeling. Then speak your intention from that elevated place. The universe responds more readily when your emotional frequency precedes the outcome, rather than chasing it from a place of lack. Consistency matters more than intensity. You don't have to stay in a peak emotional high all day. That's unrealistic and draining. Instead, practice emotional rhythm alignment. Ride the natural waves. When your energy dips, acknowledge it, reset briefly, then return to your baseline. Think of alignment like tuning a musical instrument. You don't keep the string maximally tight. You periodically adjust so the song stays in harmony. Over time, your baseline lifts, and the dips become shallower and shorter. Finally, anchor the emotional practice with a weekly integration review. At the end of each week, reflect. Which emotions were dominant when you felt most aligned? What triggered dips? And how did you course correct? Celebrate small wins. Those moments when you felt your energy humming in sync with your intention. Write them down. That review becomes a feedback loop, building emotional intelligence around your creative process. As this section closes, choose one alignment practice to focus on this week. Gratitude ritual, creative expression, environmental touchpoint, somatic reset, or emotion pairing. Commit to doing it daily for 5 minutes and notice how it strengthens your blueprint's pull. Your intention now doesn't just exist on paper or in language. It lives in your felt experience, making its broadcast irresistible. You've drawn the blueprint, sharpened the language, and aligned your emotion. Now comes the paradoxical power move, letting go. This isn't giving up. It's creating the necessary space for the universe to respond. When you cling to the how and when, you contract your vibration. When you release them, you expand into flow. Letting go of control is the secret pressure release valve that turns your precise energetic order into a living, breathing manifestation. Think of planting a seed. You prepare the soil. Choose the right spot. Plant it with intention. Water it. And then you don't excavate it daily to see if it's growing. You trust the unseen process. Root development, microbial work, nutrient absorption. Obsessively digging up the seed disrupts the whole system. Your intention is the planting. Letting go is the fertile stillness that allows roots to spread beneath the surface. The first layer of letting go is releasing the demand to know how. You might say, I want this to happen, and I need to know the exact steps, the perfect timing, the right person to show up. That voice is trying to micromanage the universe's creativity. When you demand to control the mechanism, you signal doubt. I don't trust the process. I have to steer it myself. Instead, shift into a posture of trust. I know what I want, and I trust the intelligence that brings it to me. You set the direction. The universe designs the route. The second layer is releasing the obsession over when. Deadlines can be motivating, but desperate timelines tighten your energy. Saying, I must have this by Friday or it's not happening, carries scarcity, urgency, and lack energy that screams, I don't believe it's possible unless I force it. Replace that with flexible temporal trust. I am aligning with this outcome and allow it to emerge in perfect timing. That phrase carries expectancy without desperation. You're not giving up timing. You're giving up control over the exact unfolding, making room for something potentially richer than you imagined. Detachment is a misunderstood form of love for your desire. It is not indifference or passivity. It's confident surrender. You desire something deeply, yet you remain whole if it doesn't arrive when or how you expected. That open-handed posture signals worthiness. Imagine holding water in your fist. It spills and evaporates. Open your palm, and it fills easily. Detachment is the open palm, ready to receive, not grasping, not clenching in fear. You're saying, I want this, and I trust its arrival without needing to squeeze it into existence. When doubts surface, why isn't it here yet? Or maybe I did something wrong. They are not enemies. They're indicators that your grip is creeping back in. Notice the narrative tone. Does it sound frantic, impatient, or pleading? Those are little red flags that the energy of control has returned. Pause. Breathe. Reaffirm quietly. I release how and when I am aligned and patient. That gentle reminder resets your vibration from constriction to expansiveness. Trust grows through small practices, not sudden leaps. Start with a check-in reset. After you ask clearly, pick a simple daily ritual, morning visualization, midday breath, or evening gratitude, and use it to reconnect to your intention without pushing for results. In those moments, say internally, I trust the unfolding. Let that phrase sit like a soft anchor, easing the urgency out of your nervous system. Over days, this builds into a resilient baseline of faith, not blind hope, but embodied confidence that what you ordered is moving, even if the visible evidence is delayed. Inspired action is your signal that the universe is co-creating with you. Forced action is the thrashing of control. Learn the difference. Inspired actions feel light, timely, and often a little unexpected. An urge to send a message, a sudden idea to reach out, a nudge to explore a new angle. Forced actions arise from scrambling, overthinking, or repetitive grasping. I have to hustle harder, try more tactics, push this through no matter what. When you are in control mode, you're overcompensating for a lack of trust. Pause and ask, is this coming from flow or from fear? If it's inspired, move. If it's forced, release it back into the field and wait for the next aligned nudge. Patience isn't passive. It's an active state of deep expectancy. You hold your vision like a beloved song in your mind and listen, knowing the next verse is coming. That waiting space hums with quiet confidence, not anxious tapping of the foot. To cultivate this kind of patience, create a trust anchor, a physical or mental cue that reminds you of the process. It might be a small stone you touch while affirming, I trust divine timing, or a phrase you repeat when tension spikes. The universe is arranging the perfect path. Each time you engage the anchor, you recondition your nervous system to lean into presence rather than push for premature results. Another powerful practice is the release and receive exercise. Write down the desired outcome in detail, including how you'd ideally like it to show up. Then add a line beneath. I release attachment to the how and when. I allow these to arrive in the highest form. Fold the paper, carry it with you for a day. And when stress about timing creeps in, take it out, read the release line, and breathe into surrender. That physical act externalizes your internal letting go. It turns psychological trust into energetic permission. Remember, Control and creation feel similar initially because both involve attention. The difference is energy quality. Creation from alignment is spacious, calm, and sure. Control is tight, jittery, and anxious. When you sense tightness in your chest around your desire, that's your internal meter signaling over control. So soften, expand your breath, return to your original intention without adding force. Delays are not denials. They are often refinements. The universe might be layering context, preparing you, or coordinating variables that will make the outcome more sustainable, abundant, or surprising. You can use delays as a signal rather than a threat. Ask, what is this delay teaching me? Then integrate the lesson, perhaps adjusting your expectation, amplifying your emotional alignment, or releasing a hidden fear. That way, delay becomes a co-creative checkpoint, not a derailment. Surrender doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clenching. You still take aligned steps. You still hold your vision. You still feel the desire. Only now you trust the unfolding enough to allow mystery. That mystery often carries gifts better than your limited plan. The universe, when given space, often roots around obstacles you would have created with over-control. As you close this section, choose one control habit to soften this week. Maybe the impulse to micromanage details, the need to have a fixed deadline, or the internal commentary of, I should be further along. Each time you catch yourself, breathe deeply and say, I let go, I allow. Then take one inspired action that feels easy and light, affirming that you're aligned, not forcing. You've done the work. You've designed with intention, refined with a clarity, cool, and energized with feeling. Now you make room. That space is fertile. The universe is already responding in ways unseen. Your trust turns the waiting into a powerful part of the process, not a painful gap. Now that your blueprint is set, your language sharpened, your emotion aligned, and your grip softened, the next layer of power is belief, the unseen transmitter that gives your entire energetic structure consistency, reach, and momentum. Belief is not a passive idea you hope is true. It's an active choice that frames how your internal world filters reality. It's the magnetic core that stabilizes your vibration so the universe doesn't just hear a passing signal. It receives a sustained broadcast and begins to respond accordingly. Belief shapes perception, and perception shapes what you notice. There's a neurological mechanism behind this, your reticular activating system, or RAS. Think of it like a selective spotlight in your brain. If you believe, I'm someone who attracts opportunities, your RAS scans the environment and surfaces evidence, conversations, coincidences, helpful resources that align with that story. If you believe, I'm not enough, the same system highlights setbacks, criticism, and scarcity, reinforcing the limiting narrative. Belief doesn't wait for proof. It calls the proof in. That's why belief is the transmitter. It broadcasts with such certainty that the field rearranges to reflect it. Most people wait for the world to give them evidence before they believe. That's backward. The energy of waiting for proof first delays manifestation because it leaves your blueprint without the stabilizing force it needs. Instead, choose belief in advance. Decide to operate from a place of all-readiness. That doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means anchoring your inner signal in the possibility you're creating and letting the outer world catch up. When you declare, I am capable of thriving in my purpose, your internal frequency aligns with that identity. You begin seeing actions, patterns, and openings that weren't visible to the version of you who doubted. Old limiting beliefs are like outdated software running silently in the background, slow, buggy, and often hidden beneath the surface. They whisper things like, "I don't deserve abundance," "I always mess things up," or "success is for other people." Those stories were programmed by past experiences, cultural conditioning, or well-meaning voices that didn't understand your potential. They can hijack your vibration, creating resistance between your intention and its realization. Your first job is to identify them. Start by paying attention to your internal dialogue. When you set a new intention, notice the footnotes in your mind. If your blueprint is, "I am thriving in a rewarding career," but underneath you hear, "Who am I kidding?" or "That's too big for me," you've located a limiting belief. Don't beat yourself up. Instead, shine curiosity on it. Ask, "Is this absolutely true?" Trace its origin. Did someone tell you that you weren't talented enough? Did a past failure get overgeneralized into a permanent identity? Once exposed, you can begin the deliberate process of replacing it. Choose a new, empowering belief that supports your intention. If you previously believed, "I'm not visible," shift to, "My voice matters and reaches the right people." If you thought, "Money is scarce," replace it with, "Abundance flows to me because I create value." Say your new belief aloud, with present tense conviction, and pair it with feeling. Emotion anchors belief. When you declare, "I am worthy of love," feel the warmth in your chest, the softening in your throat, the expansion in your heart. That combination of language plus embodied feeling turns the belief from abstract idea into internal identity. Repetition is how new beliefs become the baseline. Neural pathways strengthen when you consistently feed them to the same pattern. Use affirmations intelligently. Don't just repeat words mechanically. Pair them with a memory or sensation that gives them weight. For example, if your new belief is, "I learn quickly and adapt with ease," recall a time when you did learn something challenging and succeeded. Relive it. The sights, sounds, and sense of accomplishment. Then state your belief. "I learn quickly and adapt with ease," and feel that same competence radiate through your body. That's belief wiring itself into your system through proof feeling, not proof seeking. Act as if is another potent technique. If you're cultivating a belief in your creative influence, show up in ways consistent with that identity. Speak confidently about your ideas. Take pioneer steps without waiting for perfect conditions. Dress in alignment with the version of you who already owns that influence. Your body language, choices, and behaviors feed back into your brain, confirming the new belief. When your internal story and external actions sync, your vibration becomes a coherent broadcast. The universe responds to the unity, not the contradiction. Beware of internal contradiction. If part of you affirms, "I am abundant," while another part clings to, "I'll never have enough," your signal splits. That mixed broadcast confuses your internal transmitter, and the universe mirrors the ambiguity. Integration is the work of aligning your words, feelings, and actions. Audit your internal language. What do you say to yourself when you're alone? What stories do you rehearse under stress? Catch the dissonance. Label it, and that's old programming, or that's the voice of fear, and replace it with the new belief. Over time, the replacement becomes seamless. a practical belief-building ritual. 1. Identify a limiting belief that's currently interfering with a key intention. 2. Write it down along with its origin story, where you first noticed it taking root. 3. Craft its empowering counterpart in present tense, concise and personal. 4. Find evidence, past moments, small wins, or supportive feedback that supports the new belief. Feel it fully by reliving that evidence and pairing it with your new statement. 6. Act as if by taking one aligned action consistent with that belief today. 7. Reinforce periodically, 3 times a day. Return to the belief, breathe into it, and notice adjustments in your perception. As you cultivate belief, reality begins reflecting back with more ease. Doors that once felt fortified open with less friction. Synchronicities, those uncanny confirmations, become more frequent because your internal world is vibrating in a stable, consistent pattern that the universe can trust and respond to. Belief is also your internal compass in times of uncertainty. When external circumstances wobble or don't immediately mirror your desire, belief keeps your vibration anchored. It's what prevents you from reverting into old stories under pressure. A strong embodied belief says, "I'm aligned even if the evidence hasn't fully arrived yet." That steady signal allows the universe to build momentum behind your intention without you having to micromanage or doubt. Finally, remember, belief is not static. It matures. What starts as a tentative choice, "I choose to believe I can grow," becomes a settled knowing when you reinforce it through experience. Celebrate the small proofs that support your belief. Make a list of mini manifestations that validated your new identity. Each one is a brick in the foundation, making your broadcast clearer and your creative force more unstoppable. As this section closes, choose one core belief you're ready to upgrade. Follow the ritual. Expose the old. Craft the new. Find proof. Embody it and act from it. Notice how your perception shifts even before external change arrives. That internal shift is the true activation. You're not waiting for the universe to believe in you. You're choosing to believe in your reality first, and the universe responds in kind. You've built the blueprint, sharpened your language, charged it with emotion, softened your grip, and anchored your belief. Now it's time to ask. Asking with precision is the moment where your inner world sends a clear, energetic order into the field. If your previous steps were the design, the fuel, and the trust, this is the articulation, the spoken or felt command that aligns intention, belief, and vibration into a single request. When you ask with clarity, the universe isn't guessing. It knows exactly what to respond to. Imagine walking into a restaurant and saying, "I'll have food." The waiter pauses, confused. Do you want something spicy or mild, vegetarian or meat, light or rich? Vague requests produce vague results. Now picture yourself saying, "I'll have the herb-crusted salmon with roasted asparagus, a side of wild rice, and a glass of chilled Sauvignon Blanc." That order leaves no room for interpretation. The kitchen knows what to prepare, and the experience unfolds with precision. Asking the universe is the same. The more defined and aligned your request, the easier it is for reality to organize around it. Start with radical honesty about what you truly want. Drop what you think you should want based on other people's expectations or cultural pressure. Ask yourself, if no one was watching, what would I choose? Strip away the layers of obligation, fear, and superficial approval. That raw desire, spelled out honestly, is magnetic because it carries the flavor of your authentic self. When your request comes from that place, it doesn't wobble, it resonates. To structure your ask so it lands clearly, use the formula what plus, why plus, filling quirk, clear request. What is the precise outcome? Don't settle for generalities. Instead of I want more income, specify I am earning $12,000 a month through my coaching business. With clients who deeply value the transformation I provide, this tells the universe the amount, the source, and the quality of the exchange. Why gives your request depth and purpose. When your ask connects to your values, it gains integrity and magnetic pull. I'm earning $12,000 a month through my coaching business because I want to empower others to step into their own power and live lives aligned with their truth. That why creates a resonance that isn't purely transactional. It's soulful. The universe responds more richly to requests tied to meaningful reasons, not superficial wants. Feeling breathes life into the request. Don't just state what you want intellectually. Feel it now as if it's already on its way or already present. Imagine the relief, the freedom, the pride, the laughter that accompanies that income arriving. Let your chest expand with gratitude. The emotional layer transforms the order from a dry list into a living broadcast. I am joyfully receiving $12,000 a month through work I love. That feeling accelerates the manifestation because the field responds to vibrational congruence. What you believe, feel, and ask for simultaneously. Putting the formula together might sound like, I am consistently hosting sold-out workshops that change lives because I believe in the ripple effect of healing. And I feel exhilarated and deeply fulfilled as participants share their breakthroughs. That sentence is detailed, values-driven, emotionally charged, and present. It's not a wish. It's a conversation starter with the universe. Now, nuance enters with expectation versus rigidity. There's a difference between asking with clarity and demanding with desperation. When you clamp onto the how, or a rigid timeline, this must arrive by next Tuesday, and it has to look like X. You introduce tension into your vibration. That desperation is audible in your energetic order. It's like saying, I need this exact dish cooked exactly this way, or I'd be upset, which paradoxically makes delivery harder because you're contracting around the outcome instead of allowing flow. True intention holds the destination firmly but stays open on the route. You ask, I am earning $12,000 a month through my coaching business because I want to serve and uplift people. And you trust that the form it takes, the specific clients, the timing of the bookings, the channels of income, might look different than your mental blueprint. That flexibility invites the universe to surprise you with versions of your desire that are better than you imagined. You're not scrambling for control. You're standing in confident expectancy. To embody this, ask once with complete conviction, then shift into a calm state of expectancy. Let the internal chatter, why hasn't it happened yet? Or, maybe I asked wrong, soften into a background hum. Remind yourself, your request has been heard. Your job now is alignment, not agitation. When doubt tries to yank your focus back into rigidity, gently realign with a phrase like, I asked clearly, I trust it's unfolding. That soft internal reset keeps your vibration in harmony with the order you placed. Signs and synchronicities are the universe's receipts, letting you know your request is in motion. Once you've asked, remain alert, not from a place of anxiety, but from appreciative awareness. It might show up as a casual conversation that contains a key insight, a number sequence that catches your eye repeatedly, a surprise message that confirms timing, or an unexpected opportunity that aligns with your what. These aren't random. They're reflections echoing back your request. When you notice them, pause and acknowledge. Thank you. I see you. That gratitude doesn't just recognize the sign, it reinforces the signal, telling the universe, I'm awake, I'm aware, keep responding. You may practice this asking with precision by writing your request out in full. Use the what plunks why plumb out feeling formula. Speak it aloud once in a quiet moment. Feel it settle in your body. Then place a reminder somewhere visible, on your mirror, in your journal, as a digital note that you don't need to obsess over, but that will gently nudge your expectancy. Each time you see it, breathe into the feeling and whisper, it's on its way. One subtle trap is conflicting asks. You might verbally request abundance while privately fearing loss. You might ask for connection while replaying old abandonment scripts. That internal contradiction splits the signal, diluting the clarity of your request. Audit your inner dialogue. Catch the conflicting narrative, label it, soften it, and restate your ask from a unified place. When your words, emotions, and underlying stories align, your request becomes a coherent broadcast that the universe can match without confusion. Another layer is listening in the ask. Arranged asking isn't a one-sided shout, it's a conversation. After placing your order energetically, tune inward and outward for the first nudge, the quiet feeling, the idea, or the synchronicity that suggests a direction. Respond to that nudge with inspired action. That feedback loop, ask, notice, act, creates momentum. You're not waiting for everything to be perfect before moving. Core adjusting as guidance arrives. Finally, refine your precision over time. Not every request manifests in the exact form you envisioned, but each outcome gives you data. Reflect. Was there ambiguity in your what? Did your why feel shallow or misaligned? Didn't you attach too much desperation to the ask? Tweak and rearticulate. The universe isn't punishing you, it's collaborating. Clear asks beget clear responses. As this section closes, choose one desire and craft its energetic order right now. Sit quietly. Write the what, me, or why Plunkin's feeling. Say it aloud with conviction, then release it into trustful expectancy. Watch for the earliest sign that it's on its way and acknowledge it. That's how asking becomes a precise, empowering dialogue instead of a hopeful shout into the dark. You've asked with precision, placed your order energetically, and now you enter the most delicate, powerful phase, trusting divine timing. This is where your inner rhythm softens from urgency into confident expectancy. Trust isn't passive resignation. It's an active, steady choice to hold your vision while letting the universe handle the unfolding. When you truly trust, you stop pushing against unseen currents and instead begin surfing them, feeling their direction, adjusting your stance, and allowing momentum to carry you forward with far less resistance. The path of creation is rarely a straight line. It's a spiral, a dance, a series of realignments. Sometimes you surge ahead with inspired clarity. Other times you encounter delay, doubt, or detour. Those pauses aren't problems. They're part of the choreography. They are not signs the universe forgot you. They are recalibration points, preparation phases, and often the quiet work that makes what arrives more sustainable, richer, and more aligned than a hurried delivery could ever be. When you stop interpreting delay as failure and start seeing it as a creative pause, your vibration shifts from contraction into expansion. One of the most disarming traps is conflating trust with inaction. Trust doesn't mean you sit idle and wait for miracles to fall. It means you stay aligned and responsive, ready to move when inspiration arises, while releasing the frantic need to control the timeline. That's the difference between inspired action and forced action. Inspired action arrives softly, an intuitive nudge, a clear idea that feels effortless, a person showing up in your path with a piece of the puzzle. Forced action feels heavy, hurried, and anxious, like you're pushing a door that wants to open slowly on its own hinge. Learn to feel the quality of the impulse. Does it bring lightness, ease, and small excitement? Then move. If it feels like scrambling, pause. Patience becomes your ally when you practice expectant presence. Instead of asking, "Why isn't it here yet?" you ask, "What's unfolding beneath the surface?" That subtle shift in question rewires your energy. You stop pulling on the future and begin leaning into the mystery with curiosity. Expectant presence is active trust. You hold the vision, check in with your internal alignment, celebrate small signs, and stay open to how things might arrive differently, yet still beautifully. One powerful practice is the daily trust check-in. Set 3 brief moments each day, morning, midday, evening, to pause, to breathe and affirm, "I trust the unfolding. I release how and when I remain aligned." Using simple physical anchor, touch your thumb and forefinger together. Breathe in and silently breathe out the phrase. These micro-rituals build neural pathways of faith over time, so you habituate to the feeling of trust instead of reverting to anxious overdrive. Another core piece is the internal calibration of expectation versus desperation. Expectation is quietly confident. I know my request is heard, and I'm ready to receive. Desperation screams, "It must happen now," or "I've failed." The former keeps your vibration high. The latter drags your frequency down with fear and lack. When you sense your internal narrative sliding toward panic, "This should have happened already," catch it, name it, breathe, and re-anchor. I choose expectation. I trust divine timing. The universe isn't delayed because it doesn't care. It's orchestrating variables you can't yet see to deliver something better than your current blueprint might imagine. Delays also give you a gift, clarity. When your desire hasn't materialized on your initial timeline, take it as an invitation to revisit alignment. Are your beliefs still intact? Has your emotional base wavered? Is some hidden resistance holding a subtle "but" under your ask? Use the delay as a mirror. Instead of spiraling into self-doubt, ask, "What can I adjust to more fully embody this reality?" That question transforms waiting into refinement, and refinement deepens trust. Cultivating resilience is part of this timing practice. Resilience here is elasticity. You don't harden into a fixed timeline or outcome. You remain flexible while holding vision. When circumstances shift, plans change, feedback comes unexpectedly, or resources reroute, you adapt without losing your center. Think of your trust like a tree with deep roots and supple branches. Storms may bend you, but you don't break. And once the wind passes, your alignment returns without needing to rebuild from scratch. Gratitude is a secret lubricant in the machinery of divine timing. There's a subtle difference between trusting something is coming and being grateful for what's already moving. A daily timing gratitude practice shifts your energy into receptive flow. Each evening, write down one seemingly small thing that indicates movement toward your desire, a new insight, a conversation, a subtle shift in mood, a synchronicity, even a dream that felt meaningful. Acknowledge it with, "Thank you for this unfolding." That gratitude primes your field to notice and welcome further movement, reinforcing that the universe is actively rearranging itself on your behalf. You also benefit from building a trust journal. Document not just what you want, but how it's progressing invisibly. Note patterns. When did a delay precede a richer outcome? What unexpected detour led to something better? What small signs showed up right before a breakthrough? Over time, this archive becomes evidence for your faith. It reminds you that timing isn't random, it's orchestrated, and that what once felt like a setback was actually a setup. One of the most subtle shifts is learning to hold opposites simultaneously. You ask with clarity while remaining detached. You pursue with purpose while releasing urgency. You believe strongly while allowing the universe to surprise you with a better route. That duality is mastery. It looks like holding a bright lantern in your hands while walking through fog. You see enough to know the direction, but you don't force the path. You adjust as the terrain reveals itself. You're not alone in this. The intelligent field you're communicating with is constantly coordinating people, ideas, timing, and hidden rhythms. When you trust, you step off the exhausting treadmill of trying to engineer every variable and instead become a co-creator who listens for the rhythm, aligns your steps, and fluidly moves when the tide turns. Here's a practical mini-sequence to deepen your timing. Trust. 1. Pause and acknowledge the request. Remind yourself of what you asked for. Say it silently with feeling. 2. Identify any control habits. Note if you've been rushing, checking, or over-questioning. Softly release each with a breath. 3. Look for one sign. Scan the day for a subtle movement, an idea, a meeting, a pattern that hints at progressive alignment. 4. Express gratitude. Write or say thank you for this unfolding. Fave, and take one light, inspired step. Do something that feels easy and aligned, not forced, based on the nudge you sensed. Repeat this sequence anytime impatience rises. Over weeks, you'll notice how your energy remains anchored while progress accelerates, not because you forced it, but because your alignment became so clear the universe could work with it effortlessly. As you cultivate trust in divine timing, you start to feel time differently. It stops being a countdown and becomes a rhythm, an ebb and flow that you dance with. You learn to move when the tide is coming in, rest when it pulls back, and hold vision through both without losing momentum. Let that rhythm settle into your bones. Breathe into the space between asking and receiving. That space is not a void. It's fertile ground where unseen alignments mature. You're not waiting for confirmation. You're already receiving, in ways you may not have fully noticed yet. You've asked, you've aligned, now you've softened your grip. Now the universe is moving, and your next task is not chasing harder but opening wider. Receiving is a practice, not a passive reward. It requires that you be ready, that you be worthy, and that you be present. If you're not energetically set to receive, Even what you've called in can bounce off unseen internal barriers. So this stage is about clearing the doorway, noticing the gifts, and integrating them fully, because asking without receiving leaves the cycle incomplete. First, differentiate receptivity from striving. Striving feels like pushing a heavy boulder, anxious, tense, constantly scanning for what's missing. Receptivity feels like a soft cup held open, relaxed, alert, spacious. When you're receptive, your energy says, "I'm ready. I'll welcome this." The universe doesn't force through clenched fists. It flows into open hands. You don't need to prove or prepare beyond alignment. You simply admit, "I am available." That availability is a broadcast in itself, inviting what you've asked for to land gently. One of the most common blocks to receiving is hidden unworthiness. Deep down, you might whisper, "I don't deserve this," or "It's too good to be true." That internal script slams the door even while you knock politely. To dismantle it, start with gentle inquiry. When a possibility appears, notice the flicker of resistance, maybe a tightness in your chest or a soft mental "who?" a me. Label it. That's old worthiness programming. Then counter it deliberately. "I'm deserving. I have prepared. I welcome this." Pair that affirmation with a physical gesture, hand to heart. Slow inhale, soft exhale. Repetition rewires the neural path. You begin to open consciously instead of reflexively closing. Sometimes what you asked for arrives in unexpected forms, and if you're rigid about the shape, you miss the gift. You might be asking for career expansion and receive a side project that rewrites the rules of your industry. You might seek romance and first get a deep friendship that expands your capacity to love. The universe often delivers through detours because those detours prepare you to hold the fuller version of your desire. When something shows up that feels off menu, pause and widen your lens. Ask, "How might this be exactly what I intended at a deeper level?" Stretch your interpretation beyond the form into the essence. That elasticity allows you to receive without judgment and to recognize alignment, even when it's artistically dressed. Gratitude as the bridge from receiving to integration. When you notice a gift, no matter how small, and express genuine appreciation, you close the loop. "I see you. I accept this. Thank you." That acknowledgement signals to the universe that the energy has landed and is cherished. Create a simple evening ritual. Write 3 ways the universe supported you today. They don't have to be dramatic. A timely message, a creative idea, a moment of peace. Write them with feeling. Say aloud, "Thank you for this." Let the warmth fill your chest. That act doesn't only reinforce the flow of more, it solidifies the current welcome into your identity. Integration goes deeper than celebration. When a manifestation arrives, take time to own it. If you received a new income opportunity, adjust how you handle your finances to reflect abundance. If a relationship deepened, show up in it with the presence of someone who values connection. If clarity came, reorganize your habits to support that new perspective. Integration is identity remodeling. You don't just take the gift and move on. You let it become part of who you are. Celebrate actively. Share the news with someone who reflects your vibration. Journal the story as "I manifested this," or create a small ritual, a walk, a mindful meal, a visual token that honors the new normal. That anchoring locks it in and prevents sliding back into old scarcity templates. Your body is a feedback loop for your readiness to receive. Notice where tension lives when you encounter good news. Is your throat tight? Does your belly constrict like you're bracing for a fall? That's the lingering whisper of resistance. Use somatic acceptance. Breathe into those spots, soften, and repeat. I am open. Place a hand over the area, heart, solar plexus, or belly, and imagine warm light moving through it, dissolving the barricade. Feel the space expand. That physical shift tells your nervous system it's safe to receive. Environment matters here too. Clearing space physically signals there is room. A cluttered desk, a jammed calendar, or chaotic surroundings send subconscious messages that say, no more. Spend a few minutes creating symbolic receiving zones. Tidy a corner. Place an object that represents welcome. A bowl, a soft cloth, a plant, and use it as your daily reminder. When you walk into that space, pause and affirm, I am allowed to have this. The external environment begins supporting your internal readiness. You can also practice digital detox windows to sharpen reception. Silence the noise. Turn off notifications for a few mornings or evenings and ask quietly, what's showing up for me? In the absence of barrage, subtler signs become audible. Intuitive nudges, soft confirmations, gentle alignments that previously got drowned out. Receiving isn't always loud. Often it's the whisper that you can only hear when all the other voices quiet. Mindful acceptance in relationships is essential. When someone offers kindness, help, or praise, don't reflexively deflect. Oh, it was nothing? Or I didn't do much. Accept fully, say thank you, and feel it. Allow support. That openness creates a relational frequency where healthy reciprocity thrives. When you receive from others with grace, you train your entire system to stay in the flow, pulling in nourishment from every channel available. Resistance shows up as but statements. This is wonderful, but I'm not sure I can keep it. Or I got the opportunity, but I don't know if I deserve it. Catch those internal qualifiers. Speak a new truth. I receive this fully and celebrate it. Repeat. That reversal rewrites the script from doubt-laced reception to confident presence. Practice exercise. Not to one. Choose a recent synchronicity or small manifestation. 2. Sit quietly and relive it with detail. What happened? Who was involved? How it landed? 3. Write it down as a receipt. This came to me because... Makor. Express gratitude out loud. Feel it in your body. 5. Identify one integration step. Adjust a habit. Share the story. Or honor it with a small celebratory act. By doing this regularly, you transform from someone who asks into someone who co-creates complete cycles. The universe delights in filling what is ready, not just asking loudly, but receiving graciously, integrating deeply, and becoming a conduit for more. You've already done the deep work. You designed with intention, sharpened with clarity, imbued with emotion, loosened your grip, anchored your belief, asked with precision, trusted the unfolding, and opened to receive. Yet the landscape of manifestation isn't a tidy straight line. It's a living, breathing spiral. Setbacks will arrive not as punishments, but as invitations to refine, deepen, and solidify your alignment. When you shift your relationship to challenges, you stop seeing them as derailments and begin using them as accelerants. The spiral nature of your path means you revisit ideas at higher levels. What felt like a misstep 6 months ago now reveals itself as preparation. A delay that once triggered panic now shows up as a pause where insight blossomed. A relationship that frayed earlier helped you clarify your values, and the time you feared you'd wasted was actually the grounding needed so the next surge could be sustainable. That's the alchemy. Every setback carries embedded feedback about your vibration, belief, expectation, or narrative. You don't need to fix it with force. You need to translate it with awareness. Very common challenges come in 3 forms. First, delays. You've asked, aligned, and expected, but the visible evidence hasn't arrived on your timing. Instead of reacting with frustration, use delay as a mirror. Ask yourself, what's refining here? What subtle adjustment will allow this desire to land more fully? Maybe your belief needs a tune-up. Your emotional baseline slipped into tension, or your request has hidden qualifiers diluting clarity. Second, emotional dips. You feel flat, anxious, or doubtful, even though everything seemingly should be working. Those are signal flags pointing to hidden stories or fatigue. They are whispers asking you to pause, reset, and reconnect with your why. Third, external disruptions. Life shifts, opportunities vanish, relationships change. These aren't contradictions to your path. They're recalibrations, rerouting you toward truer expressions of your intention. You have tools to move through these moments without losing momentum. Begin with the presence pause. Stop. Breathe 3 full cycles. Feel your feet rooted. Sense the steadiness in your center. That pause dissolves the immediate panic and pulls you back into alignment. Then reconnect with your why. Open your journal or internal memory. Read the core reasons you set the intention, and let their emotional weight re-anchor your energy. Next, apply a curiosity reframe. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this showing me about my frequency, my belief, or my focus? That shift turns resistance into data and confusion into refinement. Micro rituals amplify your realignment. Light a candle and whisper, I choose presence. Niyas. Do a quick visualization reboot. See your desired outcome already unfolding. Breathe the associated feeling through your body and feel it stabilize your vibration. Make a small adjustment. Reach out to someone. Revise a phrase in your intention. Or release a hidden but that's been tugging at your clarity. These seemingly minor acts send a clear message to your internal system. You're choosing coherence over drift. Resilience in this context is elasticity. You don't become rigid and unyielding. You learn to bend, absorb, and rebound with more informed strength. Like bamboo in the wind, you adapt without breaking. The setbacks that once would have knocked you off course now become gentle nudges that you integrate and keep moving, often discovering new angles that weren't visible before. There's power in reviewing. At the end of each cycle, week, month, reflection point, take inventory. Which setbacks preceded surprising breakthroughs? Where did you over-control instead of trust? Which intentions were muddied by internal contradiction? Celebrate the clarity gained and course correct with tenderness. Your journey isn't about perfection. It's about becoming a more conscious correspondent in your ongoing conversation with the universe. Now, beneath all of this, the most profound synthesis emerges. You are not separate from the universe. You are the voice it uses to express possibility. Your blueprint was never outside of you. The specificity you crafted, the emotion you cultivated, the belief you chose, the request you made, the trust you held, and the openness with which you received. They are all facets of the same vibrational conversation. Each step reinforced the previous, creating a coherent, living broadcast that reality responds to because you became the version of you who already lives what you asked for. When you feel a setback, you no longer panic because you understand it as feedback in a dialogue, not a rejection, but a recalibration. When clarity arrives, you recognize it as a response to your refined ask. When trust deepens, you move with the rhythm of divine timing instead of pushing against it. When gifts come, you receive and integrate them fully, letting them expand your identity so the next iteration has more bandwidth to hold even greater manifestations. This is the mastery. You've ceased being a passive waiter for life to happen to you, and you've stepped into being an active co-creator. Every moment becomes a signal, every feeling a tuning knob, every action an invitation, every pause a reset, and every return to presence a recalibration. The conversation isn't over, it's continuous, evolving, intimate. You speak, the universe listens, it replies, you refine, it responds again. Slow the pace now. Let the rhythm settle like warm light spreading across still water. You've traced a full path from the moment you recognized you were already in dialogue, through the structure of blueprints, the sharpening of language, the charging of emotion, the softening of control, the anchoring of belief, the clarity of asking, the patience of trust, and the practice of receiving. And you've learned how to navigate the inevitable bends with grace. This isn't a to-do list anymore. It's a lived orientation, a soft, steady knowing woven into your breath and heartbeat. Remember, the power has always been in the conversation, not in a single technique. You don't need perfection to keep moving. You need presence. When doubt drifts in, return to the simplest signal. Breathe, feel, choose. When joy swells, lean into it and say thank you. The universe isn't a distant judge waiting to approve. It's a responsive field that mirrors your inner harmony, adjusting itself as you adjust your frequency. You are both the question and the answer, the artist and the canvas, the speaker and the echo. Your intentions ripple outward, and the world rearranges softly to reflect them, not because you forced change, but because you aligned with what was already true beneath the surface. Keep listening, keep refining, keep speaking. You're not behind, you're not broken, you're a living broadcast of possibility. And every moment you choose alignment, you deepen the conversation.